Welcome back, everybody, to the Me and Jesse podcast. I am Mark Pavlich, away in the Grove, the big, sexy Jesse Martineau, and our special guest today, everybody. Listen to me. They should be applauding across the world for this guy. Nonito, the Filipino Flash, Donaire, 9-time world 5-division champion. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me, man. I think it's going to be a really, really fun show.
It will be. I mean, first of all, like for the three people that don't know who you are a world-class boxer, 9-time champ in 5 different weight divisions. That's insane. Tell us a little bit about your career to start off for the 3 people that might not have heard of you before.
Well, I don't know where to start. I'm not good at talking about myself, you know.
Well, you started with an amateur career, right? And
yes.
with your brother, and then your father was a boxer. So there's that whole process. And then also, too, you were bullied as a kid because you were a little bit smaller. So why don't you start with that? Because that's something that I'm super interested in. And like that process of being bullied and that shitty feeling of being bullied every day. And then all of a sudden going, no, I'm going to learn how to box and no one's going to mess with me anymore.
Right. So for me, I was born in the Philippines and in a very little island in the Philippines in Bohol. And, you know, in the province, at that time, we didn't have any electricity, you know, and food was, it was something that we need to find every day.
Wow.
And so, you know, I was blessed that my father, you know, took the time to become a U.S. citizen. And then when he became a U.S. citizen, he came for us and took us there. In California is where we lived first. And I did not know a single thing. Oh, maybe a yes or no, right?
Yeah.
Or sir, you know, ma'am, sir. So stuff like that. That's what we learned. So for me, I was very small. We didn't have much food to eat. So I didn't speak any English. I was this little tiny little guy, you know, malnourished and everything, really skinny. And so, you know, I was the target for ridicule. I mean, people just saw me and it was just like, oh, I can pick on that kid, you know, because he doesn't speak English, so he won't tell on me. You know?
Yeah.
So at that time, I was bullied pretty much almost every day, and I just didn't know where to go from. You know, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I just cry home. My dad was he would look at me and why are you crying? You know, because he's a fighter. You know, he's a fighter in his life. He had it worse than I did, but he he was in the military, so he was very, very tough. You know, so he didn't want his kid looking like a wimp, crying home every day.
Or being soft, right? That's the military mentality, right? So he don't want you to be soft.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. You know, so you know, he got us in. My older brother started boxing before I did, and then I about a year into it, I got into boxing, not because I want to, you know. So for me, I got into it, and I did not know that we all had triggers, you know. And so for me, when I got into that ring, the very first time I walked into that ring, and I literally peed on my pants.
Wow.
Because I was so scared. Yeah, I was peeing in my pants. I was like, I can't go in there. The moment I got hit the first time, it's when another person came out, you know, and I beat the crap out of this kid. I didn't even know how I beat this kid, and I don't even remember much of it until they showed me the video. But you know, I just went out. I just went out and I beat this kid without knowing how I beat him, you know. But it was just within me, I guess, all that frustration, all that anger, I guess, you know. But that's pretty much how I started, you know, with my boxing.
How old were you when that started?
I think I was 10 or 11 years old, you know, and again, my dad wanted us off the street, stuff like that. And oh man, I when he said that I was gonna box or fight in the ring, I mean, I was terrified because I was always getting pushed, get punched, get kicked every day in school.
So you are fighting 11 years old in the ring. You kick this kid's ass. What is, how long does it take for the bullies in your life to recognize or see something's different now?
The funny thing is, I never really understood myself. When I was inside the ring, I felt that I have this another person, but outside of the ring, I was still this timid, scared, little guy. So I felt like I had to. Excuse me, I think they got crazy stuff right now, but
Okay.
it happens. Yeah, I just had these two personalities. It's so crazy because inside the ring, I felt a lot of confidence and I guess the ego, and I felt great about myself. But outside of the ring, I was this same kid who never spoke, still very very timid and shy.
Do you feel like that today still though? Is there a piece of you inside of you today that still feels like that when you're like around a big setting of people?
Now for me, it's when I'm in front of the people, the cameras, public, I'm all out. I'm happy. But in my own time, I'm very, I guess, introverted. I like to be I like to be home. I like to be just hanging out with my kids and stuff like that. Like I chose to do that more than anything else. But then if I'm out there, it's like I realize that in life, you know, it's things. Regardless if you make mistakes or made a fool of yourself, people will forget about it. It's us that put all that mentality on ourselves. So for me, I'm like, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna be crazy and happy and loud. So that would be me.
Well,
so what are you doing? What are you doing right now in Puerto Rico?
I'm actually I came here because I did the MVP prospect, most valuable promotion prospect as the commentary. As the commentary for that fight here. It was in Itcaguas, and then we were gonna come back here at the end of the month for the WBO convention. So, I got my kids with me, my wife, and we were like, you know what, let's just stay. I don't want to come back and then come back over here. Exactly. So we ended up staying until the end of the month and go to San Juan. But now, in the meantime, I'm training at Jake Paul's gym.
Oh, well, that's kind of a big deal. How did that start?
Well, I work for him technically, for the most valuable promotion MVP as one of their commentators. And one of my good friend is Jake's strength and conditioning, which is Larry Wade. Coach Larry Wade is terrific, just amazing, and he's just an amazing person. So I was able to just hook up with him here because he's training Jake at the moment.
Do you do any little sparring with Jake at all?
No. I mean, Jake is a big guy. I think that would be fun though. Anyway, because I'm crazy like that, but Jake's been very welcoming, very nice, but he works hard. That boy works hard. So
he does. He legitimately does, right? Like it's not the whole YouTube thing has kind of gone to the side now. He's a legit boxer. What level he's at, we don't know really still. But this fight against Tyson, even though Tyson's much older, it still will give us a kind of an indication, after this fight to see where he's really at.
Right. So the difference between Tyson and other older guys is Tyson relied on his power, and even when you're looking at his punches, they can crack still. He still has those fast twitch. For a lot of guys like Roy Jones, the reflexes is very important at a young age. The older you get, the less the lesser it just goes away. And
it's true.
Something. So I think Tyson's gonna be still a scary person inside that ring, you know. But Jake, I believe, you know, he has good talent for fighting. I just need to be more experienced when it comes down to that. I mean, no one puts on a glove and learn how to throw hard punches. It has to be in your DNA to know how to throw hard punch.
Yes.
You know. So
what are you gonna do?
exactly.
What are you gonna do after this is over? Like after the whole boxing thing's over, you're still a young guy. You still look really young.
Mhm.
So what's kind of on your radar to go? Okay, I'm gonna do some commentating, but what else? Because you got a great personality. Listen, you know how many Filipino people live where Jesse and I live? It's all Filipino people, man, and they're the nicest people. They have such good hearts, and it's something, you know. Like I want to see something great for you for your aftermath. What do you see yourself doing?
I guess I'm gonna be like Manny Pacquiao and start singing. Now, I train a lot of fighters now. I got a couple guys in my stable. You know, I'm training them, and they're having big fights coming up next year. So that's pretty much what I love, just being part of the new era of boxing, and you know, I'm also commentating. So I love all of that. I love commentating, being a commentator, but at the same time, I love training those guys and helping them out. And then my wife and I, we work in allowing them to understand what they're signing when they're signing contracts.
Of
A
course,
lot
of
of fighters
course.
don't know what the heck they're signing.
I
Yes.
see. Well, you said the new era of boxing. What do you mean by that?
Well, the new era of boxing is, you know, it's not like the way it was back then, where
No.
when you're a good fighter, you're gonna make it up there.
Mm.
Right now, that's not guaranteed. Right, you're a good fighter when you're a good fighter, but have great social media and following.
Correct.
That's the new way of doing things. I mean, you know, the influencing boxing, which influencer ICS is one of the things that I do commentary for as well. Just the influencer boxing and all of that stuff. It's all about entertainment now. In this era,
Yeah.
people need to be entertained.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've talked about that extensively on this show about that and how there's like this old school, new school thing, and you get guys stuck in the middle of it that you said, like with tons of talent, but just aren't great in front of the camera, aren't great online, and they're just not getting traction anymore. How much of that bothers you due to the sport of boxing, and how much of it do you just like embrace because now it's the business of boxing?
Yeah.
You know, something that I've learned in my life is when it's given and new things are coming out, you have to embrace it, because that's where the path is going to be. I mean, look at all these other stores that didn't embrace it. They're closing down, you know? So I mean, everywhere around us is always telling us how to do things and where to follow, you know, and all of that stuff. Especially now, people are making their own stuff. Everybody can be their own star if they take the time to do that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
make the videos, the whatever niche they are into, because everybody have their own personalities and own ideas that are that are entertaining to other people. So
You know, do you not find it difficult though? Because listen, I was in the MMA business for 16 years. You know, I owned the biggest show in Canada for 16 years, and I had a hard time with fighters because they didn't understand. You don't have to talk trash, but you have to be a character. So you pick whatever character you want to be, and it seemed like guys had a hard time going outside of that box. They, you know, when I hear a fighter say, "I'll do my talking in the ring," I usually used to get like, I would be cringeworthy. It'd be like, you understand, if you do your talking in the ring, the fight's already over, the tickets are already sold. So when you're doing your fight, it's too late. It's like you have to get the work up to get to there. And it seems like when you're trying to explain that to people, they think, well, I'm just telling you to be like, you know, Muhammad Ali, or to be like Conor McGregor. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying pick your character and be that character, right? Your character could be the mad guy. Your character can be, you know, I'm happy all the time, like Smiling Sam Alvey that's been on our show. You know, there's different guys that have that different thing. But do you have a hard time doing that with your own fighters, explaining that process to them about, hey, guys, I'm not telling you have to talk trash, but you do have to sell the fight some way.
Right. I understand that because I was one of those guys,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to train. I wanted to just do the talking inside the ring.
Yeah.
My wife always tells me, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's put you out there in front of the cameras, let's do interviews and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to do any of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it was very difficult to embrace because, even still, I still want to be able to just focus on one thing, right? But now you have to do it. You have to be out there. You have to, like you said, you got to choose your character and stick with it. My character is the happy guy, the nice guy.
Yeah.
I stick with that. Like for me, like I can't be any other way. Just everybody has their own personality.
Yeah, it's not fake. You're not being fake. You're just expressing your personality in a bigger way. But then the people that are watching at home go, "Hey, I want to watch him fight." You know what I mean? Either they want to see that smiling face win, or they want to see that smiling face get punched in the face. Right? So, I don't whatever they want to do, but at least they're going to come and watch you fight. And it's literally, I've seen it happen so much in sport where there's guys that should have went way farther and didn't, and then there's guys that went really far that shouldn't have. So like we're even looking at Connor right now, McGregor. When it started to get bigger opponents, we saw what happened to him. Like he got exposed, and literally he got to where he got to because he fought the right guys to get to that spot. But then when it kind of got into the deep end, he struggled. When he got against the top guys, he struggled. But it was already too late. He already made the hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So, I saw him yesterday on his yacht giving drinks to the people holding the door open for people to come on his yacht. And I thought to myself, you think he cares right now? Nah, he doesn't care. Because he doesn't care what we say. He doesn't care what anybody says. But he chose his path the way he was going to go, and he did it. And it's literally, those are the guys right now that you can actually watch their flight. Even Jake Paul. I mean, Jake Paul's boxing skills, I remember maybe 3-4 years ago, I mean, he had a hard time even hitting the pads correctly. Now he's getting better. Now he's brought in the right people to help him. But at the same time, he talked himself into a lot of money before he even knew how to really box. And you don't have to be that smart to figure that part out. But it's like, Jesus, guys, all the kids that are all in the gym now with you that are watching this, hey, guys, you actually can make some real money now in boxing, but you got to follow the kind of how it's done now.
Yep. And that's pretty much what it is. I mean, that's free advertising, for the company, get guys out there to watch you. I mean, the influencer boxing that I'm doing, it's their people that's buying tickets, it's
right.
It's those people. So, it's like, if you got the following, then we'll have you match with somebody, and that's the thing, is this is the new age of boxing. This is how fighters has to be. For me, I've never done any of this stuff. I mean, I grew up with no social medias, right? So, there was no social medias back in the days. I mean, it was very difficult to be right now. Every move that you make is on social media. So, again, it's just being able to go with the flow, with the time, with the trend, and you'll be in good hands. So that's what I believe, at least.
So when you were young, like, I want to go back to your childhood. So, the bullying, when did that slow down? Was there a specific moment, or it's just time goes by and it just, people leave you alone?
Grade school, it was every day. and then high school, it was lesser and lesser because there were other people that I can connect with, the anime club, the chess club, these guys are my guys, so
the chess
like,
club,
I'm not alone.
Right.
So, yeah. But when it stopped was when I fought in the Junior Olympics. I won the Junior Olympics. I think I was a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
And they show my fight, or they show me on ESPN in the finals, and I won that. So
like they showed it on screen at school.
yeah, no,
Oh,
not
wow.
not a school, but
Oh,
the teacher announced me. Some of the people saw me, you know. There was no YouTube then, so
yeah.
Yeah.
right. So some people have seen me there because they were watching sports, and I just showed up, and then that's when I started becoming popular, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh man, he's in TV, dude. You see that,
Right.
and then when I was a junior, I fought for the Olympic trials, and I was in the final. It was on NBC. Everybody saw it,
Yep.
and everybody like I was the coolest guy in school at that time. I'm like,
In the
yeah,
chess club. In the chess club.
nah, yeah, the chess
First,
club. I'm like,
first time in
who?
history. First time in history, the guy in the chess club is the most popular guy.
Right. And well, I was more into the anime because I was
Anime.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to talk in the chess. I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I'm like, this is taking forever. This is like golf for me right now. you know. So for me, I'm watching cartoons, anime. I'm like, this is my jam right here. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to do nothing. So I'm just watching. So I'm like, yes, I feel like I'm home. I'm sleeping in the floor right here, just laying on the floor watching people. you know. So no, it was cool. I had a lot of friends still from high school. That's just. I mean, everybody changed. From all
Of
the
course.
people that were bullied, they're the one that succeeded more in life. They
It's
got
so true.
great jobs. And all the other guys that was really really cool are just flipping burgers or doing a lot of constructions. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that
Yeah.
guys like me and the people that has been put into trial growing up allowed us to work harder, allow us to dream so that we can always say, you know what, I'm better than that.
Mm.
So everybody out there, embrace that darkness, embrace that disadvantage in a moment, because when you decide to rise, you're already willing to give all you got.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an amazing phrase there. When you're willing to rise, you've already given it. I mean, is there a moment like you're still fighting professionally? So,
Yes, sir.
because and you say like your body feels good and you have to train differently now, but what is it about always getting back in the ring? Because you hear guys all the time
Yeah.
say, "I don't want to. I'm done with this." Like, but you're not like that. What is it that keeps you going?
It keeps me alive, like
Yeah.
my mindset, my body, my mentality. I'm happier, and I have something to look forward to. When for me, the challenge inside the ring is just different. It's a different feeling that I can't find anywhere else. For me, I tried everything else. I mean, I'm not jumping no cliff or airplane, but
Yeah. That's not
you know
going to do it for you.
no, it's not gonna do it for
No,
me.
no, no, no.
It's not. For me, I love the challenge, the chess match
Mm.
sometimes between two counter punchers. How to set things up, and it's fun. Those are fun for me. And so I wake up in the morning and I'm still driven.
Right.
I still have this love for the sport,
Mm.
not in the outside of the ring, but inside the ring still. So I continue doing it, but now I have to be smart about things.
Is there still one more huge fight for you? Because
We're working on it.
you've had huge fights, right? You've had huge fights. Now, do you see like there's that one more huge fight?
I'm building on it.
Yeah.
Right now there's conversation of doing big fights, and that's for me. It's that's all I want is really big fights.
Of course.
But I sometimes I have to get there. I have to build myself to get there. Right.
Yeah.
So I got the guys in front of me, and then get to that point where I'm the mandatory or I'm number one, and they have no choice but to fight me.
Yes. That's how boxing's always set it up, right? I mean, but don't you agree though? Doesn't it seem like in boxing we haven't seen the best guys fight the best guys in prime time? Meaning like, when we saw Manny fight, when Manny fought Floyd, like Manny was a little bit older already. You know what I'm saying? It's like Floyd made sure of that. Floyd made sure that it was a little bit older. Do you think is there a way to fix that in boxing where we can get prime against prime? We just saw it recently, right? For the first time, uh, I think I can't remember the last time I seen it. Maybe it was Tyson and Holyfield. You know, like, but even Tyson was a little bit past at that time. But do you see how we can fix that in boxing to get prime versus prime?
Money talks. That's,
Yeah.
and the
All the
Saudi
way.
Arabia guys, the Riyadh season, they're paying that money, and that's why you're seeing Usyk versus Tyson Fury. You're gonna see all these guys fighting each other.
Even the last
Crawford,
fight there with the Bedibiev, you know what I mean? That,
yeah, exactly. And
like that
That
was
a big
nuts.
fight.
That was nuts. But the only people that can afford it is Saudi Arabia because
Yep.
literally it was on free TV in Canada. Like that's how much they don't even care. Like the Saudi Arabia people don't even care. They're like, oh, it's on free TV in Canada. I'm like, you're joking. Like this is like
Right.
one of the biggest fights ever. And it's not even really like a big thing in Canada because it was in Saudi Arabia. They put it at some weird time. And because he doesn't care, the Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia guy doesn't care. And then
Yeah.
literally you have these two great fighters fighting each other. And it's almost surreal to watch the fight because it's like, these guys, they shouldn't be fighting each other because
Right.
we're not used to it, right? But then when they do fight each other, we go, holy shit, that's why we all love boxing so much when we see that.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yep. And again, money talks, and fighters are gonna come together. Promoters are gonna come together. And that's what Saudi Arabia is doing right now. Riyadh season is putting that. I don't know how long they can sustain those kind of things.
Oh, forever. They got that money. That money flow in Saudi Arabia don't stop, man. It's like, and the guy loves boxing. He loves it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so we saw what they did to golf, right? So they took over that sport, with Live Golf, and they're going to do the same thing with boxing now. I mean, I feel bad, like the Eddie Hearns of the world and all these guys, they're in trouble. Like they got to really start looking at, because there's guys going, what about the rematch between Usyk and Fury? That's in Saudi Arabia too, right? So the rematch is you imagine a fight of that magnitude would usually be in Las Vegas. There would be this guy involved and this guy involved. No, it's in Saudi Arabia, man.
Right.
It's crazy, like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, even when they did the fight in LA with Crawford, a lot of people that showed up, but a lot of it were just throwing tickets everywhere, left and right. I mean,
can you imagine to see Terrence Crawford fight? Like that's crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
So, but I mean, again, they're gonna have everybody else. They're just trying to get everybody from everywhere around the world, all the promoters, and you can feel bad for the promoters, but they're getting a lot of money behind the back too.
Sure
so,
they are.
Yeah, that's right. No one's feeling bad for Eddie Hearn right now.
Did anyone ever?
At least.
No.
Did anyone ever try to set up you and Pacquiao?
There are, they want to do some fight with me and Manny, like exhibition and stuff like that.
Because you're giving up some weight to Manny, wouldn't you be? You would be. You would be giving you'd be giving up a lot of weight to Manny, right? Yeah, exactly. So it would only have to be an exhibition, right? Like, I know the perfect city too. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Manny Pacquiao against you, man. Oh my God, we'd sell out in 5 minutes, man.
Yeah, we would.
There you go.
The Filipino community,
the
Filipino community doesn't know anything here about, like, the elderly lady that's like, you meet her at the grocery store. She's Filipino, and she'll be at the casino the second Manny's fighting, and she'll go watch it. She knows nothing about boxing, and this is our city, man. They don't know nothing about boxing, but it's like, oh, Manny Pacquiao's fighting. Oh, we're all going.
Right.
Yeah,
that social connection and family getting together. The get together is what the Filipino love.
Yes, 100%.
They love to drink. They love to have fun. So those are the moments that you get families together, friends together, and they love it.
Yeah. I've had some incredible spring rolls my friend makes me.
It's called lumpia.
That's the one.
Lumpia.
Yeah.
Lumpia. Yeah.
I eat those by the shovelful.
Have you did our niece like Filipino stick fighting?
I did a little bit because a good friend of mine is Guru Dan in Los Santos.
Oh yeah, of course I know who he is. Yeah.
A bit of this, but for me it was just like I can't do it. I can't do it.
But
Cool, Dan.
you know what Dan would tell you. I know Dan and Asano because I'm a full instructor in Jeet Kune Do, so he's from Jeet Kune Do world. But you know what the purpose of the stick fighting is? It's not for stick fighting. It's to teach your movement of your body. So most people didn't realize that when Dan and Asano was teaching that, and Bruce Lee was teaching that back in the day, they weren't teaching stick fighting to stick fight. They were teaching it for your body movement because you'll find out that you can become southpaw, you can become right-handed, you can go southpaw, and you can switch, and you can move your body different. You can move your body different. And people are like, "Oh my God, that makes no sense." But then, when you start doing it and they explain it to you that way, you'll see the movement of your body was much different than just a normal boxer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome, man.
That's the purpose of it. Dan and Asano and Bruce Lee came up even when they did knife fighting. They were practicing knife fighting. The purpose was not for knife fighting or stick fighting, but was for empty hand combat. But it was to teach your body to move differently. And as Jesse can attest, I was 50 years old. I stopped sparring professional boxers, and I never professional boxed a day in my life. So I used to spar professional boxers all the time, and they used to go, "Why can't I hit this guy?" And the reason why is because I did a lot of stick fighting and knife fighting, and I didn't just work on hitting people. I worked on not being hit.
Right.
So most people didn't understand that. They were like, "Why does he move that way?" So
Yeah.
but that's all from that. And
Wow.
yeah, so
awesome.
so if you can actually translate the stick and knife fighting to empty hand combat, that was the purpose why Bruce Lee and Dan and Asano did that.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah, little
that's-
trivia for everybody at home that for that kind of stuff. But that's what it is. But your weight class moves great. Like your weight class is my ultimate favorite to watch. I can watch it all day long, right? I mean, it's the pizzazz, it's the flash, it's the 400 punches around. It's like it's crazy, right? So that's everybody goes, "Oh, I want to watch the heavyweights." I'm like, "Oh my God, it's so boring." You know what I mean? It's just like it's so slow. It's so like, ugh. It's like I love watching your weight class. I always have, the Chocolatinos, all those guys. So that's kind of always been the weight class that I've always kind of gravitated to watch. And when our dear friend Jelena Marginovich got you on the show, I was so excited because I'm like, she's like, "Mark, I have a great friend, to get on your show." And I'm like, I looked at the name and I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Yeah, it's no problem." But Jelena's always been like, Jelena lives in the city where we live in, and
Okay.
she hangs out with us all the time. And it's funny because it's like, "Oh, I'll get Sugar Hill on your show," and then Sugar Hill's on her show,
Yeah.
and we get guys from the NHL, NFL, on our show. But Jesse and I, most of the time, like it if it's either boxing or MMA. Like we prefer that more often than just other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your national sports with the little broom thing that they do.
Oh, curling. You're talking curling. I mean, that's not the one, but yeah.
No, that's a weird sport even for Canadians. Like it's only a select group of people that play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They are good.
I've never
I was
played.
like, what are they doing? Are they sweeping?
Yes, they are. It's a weird one. I've only ever done it a couple times, and I suck at it. So, but yeah, there's some people I know. I have friends that play it every week and are really good at it. But yeah, it's not one we got into. Hockey's the big one here, obviously.
Hockey, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I can go to that because I'm like looking for the fight.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's coming back. It's coming back now because for a few years they stopped fighting. And now
Really
it's like
low,
now it's like coming back in the sport. It's like now people, and you know what? People missed it, man. People love it. They do. They love the fights.
Wow.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, it's one of those sports
First time
where
I watched hockey. First time I watched hockey, it was a Shark because I was in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
It was a Shark, and I guess I was there, but they had 3 fights that night. I was like, wow.
And that's bare knuckle. That's bare knuckle, right? Like people don't realize
take
that.
off the gloves, let's go. I'm telling myself, why are you hitting him in the helmet?
Yeah, no.
It's silly, but I know it is.
Do
It's hockey fighting.
you live in Vegas now?
Yes, I live in Vegas now.
You live in Vegas, and how do you like living in Vegas? Because we're from Edmonton, and there's a direct flight from Edmonton to Las Vegas. It takes 3 hours to get there, And everybody from Edmonton goes to Las Vegas all the time. It's the number one destination for where we live in Canada. It's a direct flight. Everybody goes there to hang out, whether it's to go watch sports or it's to shop or whatever the case may be. You live in Las Vegas. What part of Vegas do you live in?
More on the Henderson side,
Okay, Henderson, yeah.
but still close to the strip.
Oh, cool. Have you ever been to Johnny Taco's gym in Las Vegas?
I did. That was the first gym that I trained at when I first came into when I first visited Vegas. You know, that was like 2006 maybe.
Wow.
You know. Yeah, so yeah, that gym. It was very old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very old school. You know, it's just I feel, you know, now it's like you're walking around, you don't want to touch the walls, you know, anything, you know.
Yeah.
It's one of those gyms. I grew
So
up in one of those.
where do you train now when you're in Las Vegas?
I sometimes I go DLX, sometimes I go to Top Rank, and sometimes I go to Split T's. You know, just wherever my guys are that I'll train, and I'll go there or I'll meet them somewhere, you know.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm all over the place.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And then you lived there, you said like 2010-ish, you moved to Vegas. So you're a veteran there now.
Yeah.
And
I love Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a great place to live, eh? Most people don't realize that.
He just said A.
Yeah. I know. Sorry. It slips sometimes. We are Canadian.
Yeah, we try not to do it. We try not to do it as much. Yeah.
Although sometimes we do it on purpose because people like it.
Yeah, that's right, eh?
Yeah.
No, I love Vegas. Vegas is great. You know, a lot of people can't handle the heat, but you know, I'm always in a sauna, so for me, it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and just anything and everything that you want from the lowest end to the highest end, you can find. You know, and everything is always great in terms of food, restaurants, places. You know, there's always something to do. You know, on the winter time, if they want to do snowboarding, stuff like that, it's 40 minutes from us.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I
mean,
it's a cool place.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing.
What's the big thing next? Where can we see you next? What's coming up?
Well, right now, you know, we're talking or trying to get the Chocolatito fight because he moved up in weight, and you know he's looking to do some fights, and you know we're almost the same age and stuff like that. We've been through wars and
both of you have, yeah.
So for us, we're like, you know what, let's just do it, you know. So we're just waiting on that, and hopefully that gets made.
Yeah,
well, we'll start the trend on all our stuff. We'll start it today.
There you go.
We'll start the trend. Our favorite Filipino fighter, Manny's number two. Manny's number two. He's number two for us. The Filipino Flash against Chocolatino live. Everybody, get ready, get excited. We're gonna make it happen on the Me and Jesse podcast. Jesse, tell them the truth. How many times has it happened since people are on this show? We've had people
weird.
that were ready.
It's been weird.
Very weird.
Francis Ngannou.
Francis Ngannou, who was on our show, who he's in the UFC, wanted to fight for the title, and I told him, once you're on this show, Francis, we'll make sure you're going to fight for the title. He did fight for the title. We've had multiple guys. Now I'm going to start the hashtag on Twitter, Instagram, everybody, you and Chocolatino live, everybody, get ready, get excited. And you know what? We got to have it in Saudi Arabia because they're the ones that put up that crazy money. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
yes.
you deserve that crazy money. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the good part about this. But we can make it into existence. It's happened on the show maybe 10 or 20 times. Hey, Jesse, no joke.
It will happen. It will happen.
Yeah,
I feel it too. But you guys' energy is gonna be putting out there with everybody. Hey, it's happening.
It's happening.
That's what we're saying.
We're starting a hashtag tonight.
Yeah.
We're starting a hashtag tonight, and I'm gonna tag in the Saudi Arabia Sheik guy that's always on social media. I'm gonna tag him in on it, and we'll get it rolling. We'll get it rolling.
Well,
that's awesome.
Well, hey, we really appreciate your time today and talking to you and man, you're everywhere I read online, like how like people like this guy breaks down things so well, but you're genuinely a good human being, and everyone
Thank
that
you.
watched this will feel the same way. And so, best way, where are you most active on social media so everyone can come follow you?
My Twitter, Filipino Flash, or Nonito Donaire, and Instagram at Nonito Donaire. So you guys can follow me, ask question. There's a lot of times because I've been through a lot in my life that some people I don't know would be like, hey man, I just want to say thank you for for giving me courage. But I think I'm done with life, and then I talk to them
Wow.
out of it,
Yeah.
So there's
Wow.
people I've talked out and they're like, man, thank you for giving me out of that situation, because everybody has their own issues and sometimes they
That's
just
right.
want to fix that. And I'm open for anyone out there to just have a conversation about it, because sometimes life might be a little bit difficult, but it too shall pass and
Yeah.
you too shall rise. As long as you believe in that, you can become anything that you want, because I was that little boy that got bullied, that cried
That's right.
home and grew up without electricity, and here I am, standing and having a great time and just living a life that I created. So start creating. We create everything and anything that we want in our hearts.
Thank you so much. Those are
Jesus.
amazing words. That's so good. Thank you so much.
9-time, baby.
9-time world champ.
Let's do that.
Yeah, hey,
10,
thank you guys.
10 time, maybe 10 time, 10 time.
Yes.
10 time.
Again, I think we got to do this another time too as well, because you guys got to learn all the stories behind it. We got talking with martial arts and all that stuff, which is great, and I'm having a great time. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you, and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you guys too. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk soon. Thanks.
Bye.
9-time, everybody. 9-time
I mean,
world
jeez,
champ.
you guys
Five,
awesome.
5 division.
Yeah.
No, so he's just not the 9-time world champion.
Yeah,
He's 9-time 5 division
that's
world
insane.
champion.
Insane.
And we want to thank our dear friend Galina Marginovich. She hooked that up for us. She's always hooking us up. We love her, and she's going to be on her way now. Wednesday, she's going Wednesday to camp
Yes.
with Tyson Fury,
The one and only.
Sugar Hill
Yeah.
for the rematch. And I would bet a lot of money that Tyson Fury wins the rematch. So
Really?
Oh yeah. I think Usyk's going to get demolished in the rematch.
Yeah.
I think Tyson Fury got bored in life. I think he gets bored of being so good and just beating everybody. And then I think he's going to take this a little bit differently than he did the last fight. And Galina's going to be there up in, we got to, we got to do, we got to talk to Galina when she's up in camp
Yes.
in Saudi Arabia
Yeah, that's
with
great.
Tyson Fury, with our guy Sugar Hill.
Yeah.
And we got to talk to her when she's in camp with them. You know what I mean? That's gotta happen in the next few
Let's do
weeks,
that.
everybody. So we'll bring that to you here on the Me and Jesse podcast. We'll bring that to you and a lot more, of course.
Well, thanks so much to our great sponsor, Crystal Glass. If you have
Clear
choice.
Yeah, for all your glass needs, call 310 Glass or go to crystalglass.ca today, everybody. They're arguably the greatest glass company in the world. So, we've got that very clear, the clear choice.
Clear. Thank you so much. The Finnish Flash.
Yes.
Sorry, not Finnish. Filipino
Flash.
Flash
Yeah,
was someone else.
But there is don't forget, there is
Timo.
the Finnish Flash.
Yeah.
You remember
Timo
who that
Solani.
was? Yes, Timo Solani. And that we got to get him on the show too.
Yeah,
but
he's
then
great.
you got the Filipino Flash on the show today. And I'm telling you guys, you can feel his aura right through the screen. He's in Puerto Rico right now with Jake Paul, getting ready for that huge fight with Mike Tyson. And tune in every Monday to the Me and Jesse podcast, 5 p.m. Mountain, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, live on YouTube. Everybody, we got some difficulties today, but we figured it out. Jesse always figures it out. Everybody's asking me. Everybody's going to ask me, what the hell is Jesse wearing a Boston shirt for?
I know.
Jesse, please tell me. What Boston is that? Is that Boston College?
No,
Is that
it's just
Boston
Boston.
University? Or is that Boston Bruins? Or is that Boston the city?
City. Just the
Okay.
city.
Just the city. Okay.
Yeah, to say I've been in New England a little bit, and I'm starting to like it.
You're loving it. You're loving it.
I am.
Yeah, you're loving
Different.
it.
It's a different way of life over there, but it's
Yeah, you're loving
something
it. I
like.
can tell.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful place.
Yes.
Well, Mark, good to have another great show with another great guest, and
Fantastic.
we'll do this again soon.
Yes, tune in, guys. Next week and the week after and the week after, subscribe. Go to work, tell your friends about the podcast. Go to your school, tell your friends about the podcast. Go to church, tell your friends about the podcast. You go to the sporting event, you tell your friends about the podcast, about the Me and Jesse podcast, live every Monday. And listen, you know what? It's easy to see. Our podcast will never die. It's going to go forever. So when YouTube, we're on YouTube now, but the second we can go on
Spotify video, whenever
Spotify video will be on Spotify video. Our show cannot be without video. So as you can tell, right, we both have faces for television. So we want to make sure that we're going to be on that when it does finally come arise for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, until next time, everybody, that's Mark Pavlich. I'm Jesse Martineau. This has been the Me and Jesse podcast. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/meandjesse. Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/meandjesse.